Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's go ahead and get started with our guest today. Our first question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
So I am Angela Davis Dogan, founder and CEO of Davis Dogan Advisory Services. And I also live in the world of enterprise risk management and third-party risk management. So the gist of what I do is I help organizations build, implement, and develop and maintain enterprise risk management programs and or third-party risk management. I say and or because I started in third-party risk management and sort of broadened my horizons over the years to look at risk holistically. And so, but still, a lot of people know me from TPRM, so I still get that work as well.
That makes sense. So a transition, as oftentimes consultants do, they transition with the times. So that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
The best thing from a leadership perspective about working with a team is that you don't have to be the person that knows it all. You know, you can, if you've done well in building a team, your team fills in your weak spots. At least that's how I approach the team, right? We're only as good as everybody in the team. So for me, teams are very important because I don't claim to know everything, and I do need that help, and a team helps bring that.
Yeah, I really like that comment, and you hit on something that I completely agree with, which is making sure you build the right team, because that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So, well, question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. What are your thoughts?
I 100% agree with that. However, I think this is where the leader can also play a vital role. So I'm sort of I'm a laid back leader, but I'm also a pusher too. So I try to meet my team where they are, understand their ins and outs, what makes them tick, and then build off that to help support them have the confidence and the ability to engage. So for some reason, people tell me I draw people to me, and that's been an advantage for me because in that drawing, they tend to want to open up and engage.
And that speaks
so
to go ahead.
Yeah, I try to feed off of that. So
yeah, I think that's smart. You've learned your leadership style, and that's the direction you go, is to let people come to you. You're very approachable, obviously. So that's a great comment about a good example of how to use leadership style to help people come to you, and that's how you drive engagement. I think that's fantastic. Question number 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're the one that shared it, so that was great. Question number 4. What other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
If I could narrow it down to a piece, I would say for leaders, always remain humble, because that humility also draws the team to want to be connected to you. I think the number one important thing for teams is sometimes people don't always feel human or a part of a team, and they don't feel nurtured, so to speak. And I think it's important as a leader to set that stage. We're the one who sets that stage, right? A team is only as good as its head. I'm a firm believer if the head ain't right, the body ain't gonna be right either. And so we as leaders have a responsibility to create that environment, set that stage, and enable the team to be their best self.
Great comment. Really like that. Question number 5. What other successful leaders of teams would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
I've had so many, and I've been so blessed in that way to have leaders deposited into my life along the way. But the first ones that come to mind are Kathy Allen, who is she moved to founder and chair of the board for the Santa Fe group. And she started the Shared Assessments Program, which is a member organization that I'm a part of and sit on their steering committee. Her and I have been friends for a long time. I call her my work mom. But she's really been the true epitome of leadership and who I've tried to model my leadership style after. I also would say a gentleman by the name of Ed Rowley. And he entered my life many, many years ago. And he has been instrumental in shaping and molding my thought process, my work ethic, and my ability and desire to be a leader. And I don't even think he knows he did that. But he did. And I mention his name all the time. And we're only now connected on LinkedIn, but still he played such a major role in my life that I have to call him out.
Well, thank you for recognizing both of those individuals, but I especially like the second one because you mentioned something that I think all of us, whether we're in a leadership position or not, we sometimes don't realize the influence that we're having on others. And I like that comment a lot, that you're recognizing someone that may not even have realized what a positive influence they had on your life. So thank you for recognizing them. Last question. Tell us about your first job.
My first job was in high school. I worked for the hospital system, and I was in housekeeping. Believe it or not. I was in housekeeping for a couple of summers. And my boss there told me she didn't want to see me back. Not because of my work. She told me that I had the potential to go far and to never settle. And that job was beneath me. Now, at 17, I really didn't get it. I was like, but I do it so well, and I love the patients. I was thinking of all the positive things other than money that job gave me. So I didn't understand what she was saying to me. And initially, it actually hurt my feelings. I was like, she doesn't want me back. What did I do wrong? But as I got older, I understood exactly what she was saying. So that was my first job. And that job also taught me that I didn't have the makeup to be in a field where I had to care for people or be in that environment, because even at that age, very quickly I grew attached to patients. I was in the terminal care unit.
That's hard.
And it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard, and it was eventful, to say the least.
Yeah.
But it did teach me that I can't be in that capacity because I take it home. I don't know how to pick it up and drop it off.
Yeah.
So
well,
that was a lot for a first job.
Well, you learned a lot, and it sounds like your supervisor there, that first one, she also had an influence on you. So certainly, there's a lot packed in, and I hear that from a lot of the guests, is that first job really has a huge influence, for positive or negative. Sometimes kind of like what you just experienced, a positive, and yet at the same time, there was something that you kind of realized about yourself that there was an aspect of that you did not want to be tied to. It just was not for you. And that's some of that comes out of the first job as well. So, well, Angela, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
They can connect with me on LinkedIn at Angela Davis Dogan. My whole name is out there. Or if they also want to shoot me an email, I'm welcome to that as well. My email is A as in apple, D as in dog, D as in dog, O as in octopus, G as in go, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, the number 1 at DBA, so dog, apple, Sam, Victor, cat, Sam.com. So AD Dogan 1 at DBASVCS.com. That's a lot.
We'll get it. I'll make sure it's all correct on the transcription as well. So we'll make sure.
Awesome.
This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, go to teamengagementpodcast.com and download our tip sheet on how to boost engagement within the workplace. Again, that's teamengagementpodcast.com. Thanks for joining us today and have a great day.